Hello gorgeous ones, welcome back. I'm Evie, I am a life and business coach and this is my YouTube channel. Welcome back. Hello, if I don't know you, I'm Evelyn Kelly, Evie for short. I'm a life and business coach and I'm so excited to be here with you today and really excited for what's to come in the conversation today and many more videos to come. It's like I said, if you haven't watched my welcome video, go check that out if you want to hear a bit more of the backstory about how I came to want to create this YouTube channel. But essentially it's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to do it basically the entire year and we're now in August at the time of recording this. And yeah, it just feels so good to be actually doing it and to be here with you all. And yeah, I'm going to share so much more about that actually in today's episode or today's little sit down chat with me. So this is going to be one of many of these beautiful conversations where you're going to come sit down with me on my beautiful new armchair. I got this beautiful armchair, isn't it gorgeous? I'll move out the way so you can have a little nosy. It's this beautiful like pink scalloped armchair. I feel like it's so Evie, it's so on brand. And yeah, I just love it so much. So I bought it on Facebook Marketplace actually, such a score, and it looks like it's brand new and yeah, completely like exactly what I wanted. And so yeah, I'm really excited to be here and to be filming on it. And this is where I'm going to be doing so many more of these sit down chats with me where essentially I'm going to be talking about a topic. Maybe there's a question, something that's been popping up for clients. Maybe it's conversations that I've been having, something that I've personally navigated or moving through, something with life coaching clients or business coaching. It could be a number of things, but I really hope that I'm going to share some sort of wisdom, some inspiration, perhaps an offer for you to, take this and implement it into your own life in some way. And so whether it's about, more of a life kind of conversation or rule or concept, or if it's something to do with business, there's going to be both. It's going to be a blend of the two. And so, yeah, I really hope that there's some wisdom to take from this, something to learn, to grow, to implement, something to consider for yourself, to question, and even maybe some unlearning to do. I know that is also sometimes, equally as good as learning something new, right? So I really hope that this is insightful for you, helpful, inspiration, wisdom, love. And yeah, I'm really excited to be sharing more of these. So today's story today, I was going to say today's podcast. I'm so used to recording a podcast and like jumping on the mic when I'm recording my podcast, but this is for YouTube. So if I interchange those words, just, excuse me, we're still learning here, but, welcome to, the first of many of these conversations on the couch with me where we're going to learn something or we're going to talk about a topic that is inspiring or deep dive into something. So yeah, create some space and time for yourself to listen to this. Grab a cuppa if you want. You'll often see this beautiful, like gigantic tea mug. I'm often drink copious amounts of tea and I'm sure you'll learn more about me as we go through. Little quirks. So today's topic is the #1 killer of dreams and what to do about it. So the #1 killer of your dreams. You probably know this, you probably guessed it, and it's inaction, essentially. But often it's fear that causes inaction. So what I believe to be true is the #1 thing that holds us back from our dreams, that kills the dream, that keeps it as a dream and not as our reality, is you not taking action on it, you not stepping towards that dream and working it out as you go and taking action towards it. And this idea came to me as I was in the shower the other week, as you do. And so I jotted it on the notes app of my phone afterwards and I said, that would be a really cool topic to talk about because you can essentially apply this to any area of your life, anything that you're wanting to do, any goal, any dream, anything like that, right? And it basically is one of those universal things. I think so often we can have a dream, an idea, an aspiration, a desire, something that we want to do, experience, create, have, manifest in our lives. we have this dream, right? This idea, this vision for ourselves or our business or our life, something to do with it. And yeah, we are all human, right? And so often we get held up, we get, something stops us along the way. And normally it's fear that holds us back here most often, or a version of fear, right? And it leads us to inaction. And when we don't take action towards that thing, then of course it's just not going to happen, right? It's like simple, you've got to show up for it. And this is why I get really annoyed at manifestation, because I feel like there's some misleading information online, and maybe there's, that's like a bit of a buzzword at the moment, especially on Instagram, and it's like all around energetics and just like manifest your desires and have the goal and, like really want it, feel into it. And if I'm just somehow going to be my most authentic self, if I'm in alignment, then, if I'm meditating, doing all of those things, that somehow that thing is magically going to occur, or it's going to come into my life. I'm going to have that thing. And it just doesn't happen that way. It just really doesn't happen that way. And a part of that manifestation equation is action. That is a big part of it. Yes, aligned action. Yes, show up as your most authentic self. Yes, meditate. Yes, ground yourself. Yes, visualize it. Yes, feel into what that feels for you. Absolutely. Like, I'm big on energetics too, right? But you've got to have the action to follow it up, because if you don't have action, if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not taking any tiny step towards your dream, then it literally just is not going to happen. It's not going to happen, right? And so, or maybe it might happen, but we don't know how to hold it, right? Because we haven't taken the steps there to prepare ourselves to become that version of ourselves that has that thing, that experiences that, whatever it is. And so then often we don't know how to hold it, right? And I mean energetically, so to speak here. So then perhaps we might repel it away, or we might let it go, or self-sabotage in some way, because we haven't taken those steps towards the version of ourselves that owns that thing, that has that thing, that experiences that thing in our lives, right? So yes, be authentic. Yes, do all of the beautiful energetic work. Yes, do all of the inner healing, the worthiness work, any of the like mindset work, the limiting beliefs that are holding you back from having that thing. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about a whole lot more of those topics individually in future videos, I am sure. But today's one is really about, we need to have the action. And if you don't take action, it is the biggest killer of your dream. No matter what your dream is, no matter who you are, if you are not taking action towards it, then it's just not going to happen, right? And when I say fear is often the thing that holds us back, sometimes that fear can play out in different ways. So for example, maybe it's procrastination for you, right? Procrastination, in other words, not taking action, avoiding it at all costs, is another way of like not taking action. It's another way of how fear can manifest itself. So procrastination may be one of those things for you. It could even be so many other things, like maybe it's imposter syndrome. Maybe there's other kind of mindset wobbles that you have along the way. Maybe you don't feel worthy of going after that dream, or holding that abundance or lifestyle or relationship or feeling, whatever it might be. Maybe you don't feel worthy of that. And so again, that's another layer of fear that then equates to inaction, not taking action towards that thing. And so literally that dream just becomes a dream, it stays as a one day, a maybe, a someday, a dream, and it's not your current reality. And the thing is, and I want you to know this, and you'll hear me talk about this a whole lot more if you stick around, is that you are absolutely worthy of going after the things that you want in your life. In fact, it's your responsibility to go after those things that you really want in your life. 100%. You are absolutely worthy of it. It's your responsibility. if you have the vision, and I often speak about this, I feel like I share this heaps, it's one of my favorite things to come back to whenever we have an element of fear or something that's holding us back from going after what we want, is that you wouldn't have the vision if it wasn't yours to live out. You wouldn't have the vision if it wasn't yours to live out. And so the very fact that you have the vision, that you have the goal, that it's a desire, that it's something that you want, that you can see it, that you can, maybe you can't even see it, but you have some kind of inkling that it's for you, that it keeps knocking on your door, intuitively you keep getting those nudges towards it. The fact that that is happening means that it's yours to live out. And I remember learning that myself, and I was like, really? Oh my goodness, no one else wants to be a coach, or no one else wants to have a podcast or a YouTube channel, or that not everyone feels this way, and not everyone wants the things that I want, or not everyone has that mission or that desire or that calling or that, that nudge that I kept getting from my intuition. You mean other people weren't getting that same thing, and no, they're not getting that same thing. They're getting their version of it, right? So we all have a version of it, but it's their goal, it's their dream, it's what they're wanting to have, achieve, experience, create, right? It's not necessarily our vision. And so if you have it, if you have a desire, a dream, a calling, a nudge, an intuitive knowing, then it's absolutely yours to go after, to live out, to step towards, to experience. So please know that you are 100% worthy of that. And if you have some mindset wobbles around it, ickiness around it, fear, worthiness, limiting beliefs around it, then, send me a DM on Instagram. We can chat over there. Pop a comment in the comment section below on YouTube here, or reach out and let's have a conversation about that, because I want you to achieve those things, and there's no reason why you can't have those things. If it is your vision and it's on your heart, then we are making a way that it's going to happen. It's a done deal. That's how I think about it. And so would love to coach you, would love to support you through that. So that's a whole nother side topic, but you are absolutely worthy of it. Just know that. And so the way we get closer to them, the way we basically allow ourselves to step into that version of ourselves, allow the dream, the reality, the vision to come into our worlds, into our reality, to make manifest, to have, to hold, to feel, to be, etc., is that you have to take action towards it. You have to take action towards it. And then most likely, in fact, there probably always will be an element of fear. Because the things that we really want, I believe, the things that we truly want, the things that are on our heart, the things that are worth having, are the things on the other side of fear. i.e. they're out of our comfort zone. It's something that we don't currently have in our world, in our comfort zone, in the circle that feels squishy and safe and okay. And so it means that you have to step out of your comfort zone. It means that you need to stretch and grow in order to have that thing. And that's what I think, that's a huge part of why we're here, and about, that's life. It's about soul progression. It's about you growing as a human. And the way we do that is by I will have that goal and that vision, and I want that thing over here. I have that dream, and it's calling forward a higher version of myself. It's calling forward me to become someone bigger, better, more aware, awake, in tune, whatever those words are. It's requiring a new version of ourselves, an up-leveled version of ourselves, to have those things, right? And so it means that we have to grow. It means that we have to stretch our comfort zone, and we can't stay in our squishy comfort zone where it feels really nice and warm and snuggly. But I really believe that the pain that you feel of staying the same, staying in your comfort zone, doing the same things over and over and over again, not stretching, not growing yourself, will be far worse. That sinking feeling of unfulfillment is far worse than that moment of scariness, stepping out of my comfort zone kind of fear, kind of discomfort. That's momentary discomfort. It's the short-term discomfort for the long-term gain. Yeah? So that fear is gonna be there, and it's requiring a new version of ourselves. It's requiring us to up level and grow. That's a really wonderful thing. That's part of why we're here. That's a part of what, you know, you need to do to progress things along, to grow as a human. And that it's a, you know, it's a moment, it's a fleeting moment of fear or discomfort or uneasiness. So know that that's a thing, right? And that, yes, there will be times when fear holds us back, or, you know, you feel the fear and you're like, you wanting to retract or wanting to like go into your safety net, into your comfort zone. But know that that's when we want to leap. That's when we want to expand. That's when we want to open and deeply, deeply trust ourselves. And obviously that's a whole nother side shoot to this that can support you on that journey of growing your business, of, you know, leaping out of your comfort zone, of going after your dreams, no matter what it is. Like you feeling really safe and grounded and whole in who you are, and having that deep sense of trust and like, I've got my own back, then, you know, that is honestly, oh my goodness, how do I even put that into words? That is gold, and it will support you so much to really keep leaping out of your comfort zone and living a really intentional, beautiful, you know, expansive life full of your desires and your dreams. Okay, so I think that's the first thing that I really wanted to share, was around like the fear that leads to inaction, knowing that that's a normal part of it. And yeah, and you welcome that, and that's, you know, getting really good at that, or maybe not necessarily getting good at that, because I feel like it's always going to be feel a bit stretchy and scary no matter what it is. You know, each up level, there'll be another devil, you know, it's each, that's the saying in business I often hear, but you know, knowing that it's going to feel stretchy and the fear doesn't necessarily go away, but you get better at noticing it and supporting yourself through that and taking the leap. And it takes, you know, maybe less time. You leap before perhaps, or like sooner, for example, than perhaps you previously had in the past, where you're like, it's that fear again. Okay, cool, this is what I need to do, and how can I feel really safe and grounded and whole within myself so that I can take that scary action, because I want that thing over there, I want that dream, that desire, and I can bring it into my reality, and I can make that happen by taking action. So the other thing I wanted to share, and again, I feel like I'm like jam-packing so many of my favorite like nuggets of wisdom and quotes and things into this video, which is amazing. I'm really hoping that you're loving this. So the other thing I wanted to speak to was, through action comes clarity. So often what can hold us back from the dream is we can say, I'm here, and this is me over here, and I know this about myself and the world, etc. And I've got that desire and that dream, and it's over here, and I can sort of see that, like, that end goal, and I can kind of feel it a little bit, and like I know it's there, and I really want that thing, and I know I've got that intuitive nudge and calling to do it, but I have no idea how to get myself from here to over here, right? From A to B. How do I go from here to here, Evie? And this is what happens, in our minds want to know, I've got to take step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we want to have the 10-step plan, and we want to know exactly what every step looks like. We want to know how it's going to play out. We want to see what's around the corner. We want to know exactly, in really finite detail, exactly what the outcome's going to be, exactly what it looks like, exactly what it feels like. And the mind does this to ourselves because it wants to keep us safe. It's saying, well, I need to know all these things, and I need to know that you're going to be able to go from step 2 to 3, and you're going to be safe, and you're going to be okay. And that is what the mind is designed to do, to keep us safe, to keep us small, to keep us in our comfort zone. Again, more videos on that to come. Inner critic, ego, the mind, the fear-based voice is always designed to keep you safe. But the thing is, you cannot know all of the steps along the way to get you to that end point. It's impossible. You just don't know. You can have a rough idea, absolutely. You can have a look at other expanders, other people doing it, a wonderful way to like bridge that gap and bring that closer. But you can't know exactly all of the steps. And in actual fact, sometimes it means that the end goal might change slightly. Like instead of it being here, it might be over here, or it just might look different, right? Because while you're going along the journey, while you're taking the action, while you're stepping towards it, you will learn so much. You will gain so much wisdom. You will gain so much clarity. And it means that you might have been angling this way and now you're just pivoting slightly, or the end goal, the desire, the want is just changing slightly, right? And so there is no way of knowing, and that's life, right? And as scary as that sounds, that is life, that is living, and we need to embrace that. And the biggest piece of wisdom and advice here is that you have to start taking some action to, one, create that dream, to make it your reality, but also through taking that action, you are going to gain so much clarity. So much clarity. As well as clarity though, you are going to gain so much confidence. You're going to learn so much about yourself along the way, and about the process, about the goal, about the vision, more and more and more. And that is so, so valuable. It is so, so valuable. So I want to give you an example here. I'm going to use my own example of creating this YouTube channel, right? So for example, it's taken me a while to get this up, right? I know that it's been on my heart for a long time, and I think there's a part of this puzzle piece, which is another story entirely, is that timing is important sometimes. And so, I know that at the start of the year, obviously I had a really little young baby. Blake is only 9 months old now at the time of recording this. And so, at the start of the year, she was only a couple of months old, and I was still very much in the newborn bubble. I was coming back into my business. And I was running a big mastermind, the Strategy and Soul Mastermind. Shout out to my girls. I've absolutely loved this. And we're about to open up the doors for the next round in August, which is so, so exciting. But, that was a big focus of mine, was integrating this whole new way of being and working, and now being a mama myself and having this tiny little baby to look after as well. And so obviously that was a big part of my focus. And even though I had the calling to do YouTube and to create these videos, I knew that it wasn't the right time to do it at the start of the year. But then there came a time when I was like, I could do this, and I'm making excuses as to why I'm not doing this, i.e. I don't know the tech setup. How do I do this? Like, how do I edit videos? How do I put them on YouTube? Like, I didn't know any of the how-to stuff, right? Which is so often a way that, our minds can be like, oh, no, it's too hard. You don't know all the answers, just don't do it. Don't take action. See? So that was a part of it, right? And then, there was a big part of it was like, well, you don't have time to do it. Like, you run a big business, you are a new mama, and you basically only have 1 day a week to do all of that stuff. You work less than 10 hours a week in your business, and you want to create a whole nother channel. And I'm like, yes, I do. Hello, go get it, ambitious Evie. But you know what? I really wanted to do this, and it was on my heart. And it could have been easy for me to be like, it's too hard, or no, I'm scared. I'm going to put myself out there in a whole new way. And what does that look like? Or I don't know the steps to get there. I don't know the 10-step plan. And look, I still don't even know the 10-step plan. Like I said in my welcome video, I feel like this is going to morph and evolve and grow in time. And that's a wonderful thing. I think that's a healthy thing, and that should be the way that we do business and the way that we do life as well, knowing that things are forever growing and changing, but in a really beautiful way, in a good way. And so I don't know exactly the end result, but I do know that it's on my heart and I have to do it. And that was the biggest thing, to come back to that trust piece, right? And then for this video, right, I was like, I've got my mic set up, I've all of the gadgets. We've got camera, we've got lighting, we've got, got the pod mic, and all of these cords. If you can see this in the background, one day I'll do a behind the scenes kind of video of how I do all this and the setup and what it all looks like for you, because I think that might be interesting. But anyway, I literally have come down to we call this a sleep out, but it's my office. It's a little room that's on the same property as our house, but detached from the house, which is really, really lovely actually. But anyway, I came down to record this video last week. So about, 3 or 4 days ago, right? Got dressed, well, not dressed up, but put my clothes on, like ready to go, had my topic, got the camera, had bought the, the mic, the setup, all the tech stuff ready to go. And I was like, look, I've just got to do this. And anyway, there was so many issues. I probably spent about 2 hours trying to get all this to set up to work and to go and to integrate all of this stuff, right? And anyway, long story short, I was like, okay, this is not the right time. I'm gonna, I only had a finite amount of time, and with a little baby who doesn't sleep a whole lot, I really don't have a whole lot of time to be wasting on this, right? And so I was like, okay, it's not gonna work today. We'll leave it, we'll park it, we'll come back. And look, I could have easily been like, okay, this is too hard. I don't understand the tech. I'm just gonna put that off. I could have, basically me just not wanting to show up, making any excuse as to why I couldn't do this. The fear, the not knowing, any kind of procrastination, right? Of just like not doing this. And there was elements of all of those things along this journey, right? For the last couple of months and even in this last week, trying to get this one ready to go, right? And so I was like, no, you know what? It doesn't need to be perfect. That's actually another point that I should have made earlier around perfectionism is one of the huge pieces of this puzzle that holds people back all of the time. And I often say that perfectionism is fear in high heels, because it is. It's fear holding you back again. It's like, it has to be perfect. Why? Because, yes, oftentimes it comes from a good place, like I want to deliver really high quality videos and audios and content for you, absolutely, and that comes from a really good place. But also, if the audio isn't like podcast worthy, then does that really matter? Or am I just going to keep delaying this dream? Am I just going to be putting it off? And that's the thing, right? I could have spent so long sitting in procrastination, trying to make this perfect, fiddling it all through. And you know what? I was like, I just got to start taking action. And I should correct myself. When the last Thursday, when I was trying to record this video a few days ago, I said I wasted 2 hours doing it. I actually didn't waste that time. That was so valuable time. It was me figuring it out. It was trial and error. It was me taking action towards the dream. And that's what this is about, right? It's about, okay, it might not be perfect. I have to start somewhere. I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna push publish. I'm gonna hit send. I'm gonna create the video, hit record. I'm gonna publish it. I'm gonna share it. I've got to start somewhere. And everyone starts somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. That's another big one that holds people back, right? Oh, but I have to be further along my journey, or I have to have X amount of followers, or I have to, oh my goodness, all of the stories that our mind makes up. And I say it in that voice because look, I have an inner critic too. The fear voice pops up. I have elements of perfectionism too. I'm laughing because, all of these things are true for me too. But I know that the biggest way to step over that fear, the biggest way to step over procrastination, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, unworthiness, feeling unconfident, unqualified, whatever it is, not knowing how, the biggest way to overcome all of that stuff is to start to take action. Just take one step forward. And this is what I want you to take away from this. If you have a dream, if you have a vision, if you have something that's on your heart, if you have something that keeps coming around and knocking on your door, then start to take action towards it, even if it's just one little step forward. Even if it's just one little step forward, take action towards it. And you know how I was talking about earlier with this YouTube journey for me personally, at the start of the year wasn't quite the right timing, but I was sitting with that idea. I was pondering it. I was writing down ideas on a Google Doc. A little bit into the journey, I was researching cameras. I then bought myself a vlogging camera. That was a step towards it. I then looked at the mics and the setup and the other tech stuff that I needed to do. I then was like, okay, that's enough planning, that's enough thinking about it, that's enough pondering. I just need to do the doing. And then, you know, hitting record, starting. You know, last weekend you would have seen a whole nother setup because that was in a different place. We were away for the weekend, and so I just knew that I needed to do it. And so Brooke was like, hey, I'm going to take Blake out in the other room for a little bit. You hit record, you sit down and talk and do the welcome video. And so I did. And, you know, that's the biggest thing. You've just got to take action, start small, do something towards it as often as you possibly can. And it doesn't matter if you don't know exactly what that thing is. Try stuff out. Be okay with just trialing and you know, making some quote unquote mistakes, which are probably not mistakes. They're just like lessons, right? It's just growth. It's just opportunities for growth. But start somewhere. You just have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere, and don't let fear hold you back. And, you know, as I said at the very start here, if you've got the vision, it's yours to live out. It's your responsibility to go do it. So don't let fear and inaction, or any number of those things, any number of the fear, right? How it can manifest and play out in different ways. But don't let inaction be the thing that kills your dreams. Because it is the #1 killer, and I really want you to live out your dream, live out your passion, and yeah, you're so worthy of that. All right, my loves, big love to you. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and send this to your friends. Whoever needs to hear this, get it in their ears.